Hi everyone, and welcome to Kick-Ass Brand Show. I am Andrei, Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and today I bring you, in a moment, Sylvia Martinelli, the founder of SNB Gluten Free, a company that makes Otimo cheese puffs. They're so good, I can't help myself. I just keep munching them. During the interview, before the interview, after the interview, they're amazing. So Sylvia immigrated from Brazil to Canada in 2007 and created her own business a few years later based on her favorite snacks. Yeah, you guessed it, the cheese puffs. So her business was featured on the Canadian version of Shark Tank. We call it here Dragon's Den. And it's now growing its presence in several Canadian provinces and also online. And when I say that her brand is awesome, there's actually really more to that than just a word. To find out more, watch this episode and learn from what Sylvia had to share. She actually had marketing background, so what she is sharing with you is priceless. Well, Sylvia, welcome to Kick-Ass Brand Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank
really
you.
excited to have you over, and you're, one of our earlier clients, and you have a great brand, have a great story, and I'm really looking forward to you sharing that story with the audience.
Awesome.
So let's do something different, something I've never done before. Why don't you do a 30-second pitch of who you are, what your business is?
That's nice. Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. So we are Otimo, Brazilian style cheese puffs. I am Sylvia Martinelli, so I started this business from scratch. Otimo is my brand, but my product is actually called cheese puffs, and they are
That's the product.
exactly, they're right here.
Yeah.
So they're little buns made from a root called manioc from Brazil. But the most important thing for you to know is that they are my favorite snacks in the entire universe, and that's why I had to create them here in Canada. So they're very popular in Brazil, but they didn't have them in Canada when I moved in, and I missed them a lot. So I decided to create them, and because of that, and because to make sure that everybody got the love and the understanding that they are awesome, I put this brand Otimo, which means awesome in Portuguese.
Cool. So when did you move to Canada?
10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was exactly about the time when I moved to Canada.
Yeah, see? I think we timed.
I guess.
We check.
So did you cook in Brazil?
Kind of. Well,
Did you make these in Brazil?
only at home, not to sell.
Okay.
I only made it for my family, and then just when I really was craving them. In there, it's very easy to find them in the groceries, but I actually loved to play around. So I would get the ingredients and then put other ingredients and make my own.
Right.
But not as a profession. No, I'm a sales and marketing professional, major in marketing and communications.
Right.
Worked with sales, but I also worked with franchises before for about 10 years, like 14 until I was 24.
Yeah.
And learned a little bit of kitchen processes, selling processes, a little bit of everything. But my area wasn't exactly
That was still in
kitchen.
Brazil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you moved to Canada, did you just immediately decide you wanted to start a business, or did you start?
No.
Did you try getting a job?
I wish.
How did that happen?
So no, when I moved to Canada, actually it was to improve my English. So I had studied for 4 years in Brazil. So I basically knew a lot of grammar and reading and writing, I could understand most of it, but I couldn't speak because you don't practice a lot of speaking in there.
Yeah.
So I was kind of I just came to really get to the next level, because in Brazil, when I was going for job interviews and everything, I got stuck in my career where I couldn't get above. I was already very qualified, young, and then had all this background in my resume, but I didn't have the English, which would allow me the best jobs in Brazil. So I was like, I need to resolve this problem. I'm gonna go and then learn English. So when I got here, then I really, in a few months, I really got to the advanced level, and then my English got better and better. And then, but other thing happened too. Like I started looking around and seeing how many jobs were here, and how much nicer it was to actually live here and then be not so stressed out with like, you know, competing all the time with work, and not so crowded, and then so safe. That I've decided to actually, you know, try a career here, like go for interviews and see if I could get a job.
Yeah, as a marketing professional.
As a sales and marketing professional. So I was like, well, you know, I can learn about whatever I'm selling, right? And I can learn. So I just need to go through the barrier of English, right? So I practice and practice and practice, and went for interviews, and I passed in a few of them, but I didn't have the working permit to work here. So I told them, I said, I don't have the proper paperwork, so I'm gonna go back to Brazil. I was finishing my master's degree before I came, so I had 6 months left. So I said, I'm gonna go back, finish my master's, and come back if the job is still open, or if you have other position, what I need from you is a job offer. So I got a few job offers.
Nice.
And then I went back to Brazil and I said, I can do this. Like I really was able to get everything I needed. I could start, but I couldn't because I needed the visa.
Yeah.
So I went back in a 6-month plan to come back here and then get the job and then work for a few years and see if I would like to actually immigrate.
Right.
Because one of the things is coming here as a tourist, everything is beautiful and awesome, and yes.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like, can I create a life here?
Yeah.
Can I find a place, pay rent, all of those things, right?
Yeah.
So I went back to Brazil, made a plan for 6 months to come back. Finished, I was working, I worked 6 more months for my boss there. Got everything, sold car, computer that I had. Like that's all I had. So I sold and came. In 6 months I was here, back. I called up the places that I got the job offers. One of them was still available, the other ones weren't. So I got in, and then I went into I actually was studying, and it was like a working study thing. So I kept studying English, and then had the opportunity to have a job. And that was great because then it paid my bills, and then I got an internship where I worked in sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And then that allowed me to get the working visa and then eventually get the process to immigrate. So I worked in sales and marketing for 3 years.
Okay.
And then I worked in a bakery for 1 more year.
How'd you switch to bakery?
The reason is because when I got into the sales and marketing area, I was selling ice melter, which are those like organic salt to melt ice. It was very technical and chemical and highly and nothing to do with anything that I've done, and nothing to do with my passions, like to what I really want for my life. And I said, well, I started as an intern, and I finished when I left the company, I was only below the owner. I was the sales and marketing manager in 3 years. So I said, what could I achieve if I have my own? Like I always wanted to have my own business. So I started thinking about what I wanted to do. And the first idea was to have a little coffee shop, like a little retail store where like I made this and many other snacks, and I would sell direct to the public. But before I invested the money, which I didn't have a lot, I decided to apply one of the lessons I've learned from my first boss. He said, always learn with other people's money, not yours.
Oh, that's great advice.
See?
That's great advice.
You don't have a lot of money, just learn with other people's money. So I actually got a job as a bakery manager because I said, what is the best way of learning? You go and you learn from scratch. You're going to learn how to be a baker. You're going to be the baker. You're going to train salespeople. I'm going to see the operations, the cost, and everything. So I applied.
See all the inefficiencies.
Exactly, the P&L and everything, and see if it's worth it.
Yeah.
And what do I have to do to be worth it, to make it work? And luckily I did that, because when I set my project for 1 year. They had this project for like, if you wanted to be a franchisee, they would train you from scratch. And at the end of the 1 year, you had the option of buying the franchise
Or not.
and keep going or not. I said, great. I'm already okay with franchises. I can follow procedures and it's half of the work is done. And then maybe I can apply some creativity and then get this going. Yeah. Then when I started and I saw that no, franchises, especially, it's really like, that's it. You can't move around too much.
That's kind of the point.
I know, but I was thinking like as a franchisee, you could actually have your touch and then do some sales things and whatever. So I started applying my knowledge in all the areas, and I figured out that what I really loved was mainly the sales aspect, the building the customer relationship, and also creating things from scratch. It wasn't so much following procedures.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work because I love creating and then they don't let me create.
Yeah.
And I love like testing everything I do, and I'm very limited. What they allow me to test, I show them. Like my store, when I got it, like I hit all those records in sales in 6 months of period. I show them like I was the one that hit all the sales goals in all Canada from all the franchisees in only 6 months. And I said, if I did it for them, I can do it for myself. Then I thought, okay, food aspect, the buns, but my own business and manufacturing. So I train people to do the production once the formula is all figured out, and I go sell because that's what I'm good at. And I go do events. I go do like networking. I'm gonna build this, and I can create any products.
Yeah.
So that's
it's all about marketing anyway.
Exactly, and this is what I love. And then when you're the owner, you can do anything. And you pay for the wrong though, like if right or wrong, like if you make mistakes, you pay for them, but you learn.
Yeah.
And that's how I transitioned from really like just a student.
Okay, so marketing intern, then
Yes.
bakery intern, then you started at which point did you come up with a brand?
When we already had the product.
Okay, so you had the product. What was it called? You didn't have any name?
It's called pão de queijo. The name of the product is pão de queijo.
Okay.
Which is bread of cheese or cheese made of bread.
Okay.
And we talked to people about it. We did some testing and then nobody could pronounce. They would say anything but pão de queijo.
I don't blame them.
Exactly. It's just way too complicated.
Yeah.
And then if you broke down, it would be weird too. And then also it's not really a bread.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so let's just separate it. Name of the product and brand. And when we decided to create the brand, I was like, this is only one product. I have all these ideas. If I call it anything too specific, I'm gonna be locked down. I won't be able to create other products under the brand. So let's go big, create this massive brand, and then have all these products below. So we're thinking, what represents Brazil? Because we wanted to have things that we would create here, but essentially the roots were from Brazil. And then
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know it's against every single rule to eat during an interview. I just can't
go
help
for
myself. So sorry.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like when you start eating them, like you can't stop. That's like, I don't know, they're highly addictive.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're like, okay, so it is good, but it's very good. It's better than good. It's awesome. And we're like writing all of this in Portuguese. So that's how we came to Otimo. We're like, what's better than good? Because it's not just, I had this snack, it's okay. It's not okay, it's awesome. So we wanted to make it awesome, and we wanted to make it awesome. So anything else that we made it, we set the bar really high.
And it pushes you to actually form a business like this.
It does, because when I was developing the other lines, there are similar products in Brazil of the dry ones, but they're okay. They're not great. There are some that are great. So I go like, I have to surpass them. Because how can I call Otimo if it's not Otimo? So it took me months to develop it, because I would test it and then my husband would say, yeah, no, it's okay. Like it reminds, no, I don't want okay. I want wow.
Yeah.
So it set, like, I like it how I set the bar high, and then now anything I create has to get that high.
Now, this is a great lesson because the name, your brand, actually is supposed to send a message not just to the audience but also to yourself. And this is what happened with Trademark Factory when I came up with that name.
Oh yeah, it's
because
I really like it.
every time I would come up with this new idea, we can make things better. I would filter it through the notion is, does it bring it closer to it being a factory, or does it create the opposite of when everything is being done individually and at different levels of success.
Yes.
And I would scrape that idea right away because it's not factory.
Yes.
Same with
it really
having
does.
a brand that actually means something.
Yeah, it's always in the back of my mind. When I launch it, I always think about it's my face that is in the bags, and it's my face that is there in the events.
Yeah.
So when I go in, if it's not like, I want to hear, yes, it's Otimo. Like when Brazilian Latin people that know exactly what the word means come in and say, oh yes, it's really awesome. It's really Otimo. Like that's my mission is accomplished.
Yeah.
Like, so every time we had tons of samples, like there are products that took almost a year to get ready. But until they were awesome, I wouldn't launch at all. And then I would just test it, do a few tests here, get better, test here, get better. Got better, the response is very good, we'll awesome, we launch it. Yeah, so it really gives you more work though, but. Yeah,
we actually spoke about this before the show, and you said something really, really deep and profound. And I just wanted to run this again on camera. So what do you think makes for a kick-ass brand? What makes a brand kick-ass? What makes it valuable?
I believe it is the person behind or the people behind, but mostly the concepts that you create and you leave and you show in your work. So I believe in Otimo, but everything I do in the company is to be Otimo, is to be awesome. So I put my reputation behind that brand, and everything I do is to support that to my customers, and they see that. They see the trust, they understand it. They see that if anything goes wrong, they can come to me and we're gonna resolve the problem right away.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't matter how much strategy you put behind or how much money or marketing or this and that. What it comes down to is reality. How good is your customer service? How good is your product? And how you are behind when things go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how recognizable that is too.
Exactly.
In the marketplace, because if you have a brand that nobody can remember or recognize, there's a problem there.
And that's the thing too. It took us a while to get to the word, right? We tried other things, but it has to be something that people here can pronounce and then they can remember. Yeah. They can associate with something, right? So that was good that they can associate with awesome. So it's nice.
Yeah. Another thing you mentioned at the pre-show is that there is actually a reason behind the colors.
Yes.
and you have been my client for what, 5 years?
Yeah, since the beginning, since before the business.
And I didn't know.
Yes.
So
basically, it's the red for Canada, and then the green and yellow for Brazil. So it's always there's Brazilian roots, but we are made here. We're a local company. We're Canadian. So to me, it's always about the fusion.
It's so bright.
Exactly. It's the fusion of both cultures, right? I moved here. To me, it's great to bring a lot of good things from Brazil and then fuse them with the great things from Canada, Right. I'm here to really incorporate those cultures and get them together and then see what we can make. Yeah,
cool. So you have been on Dragon's Den, which is a Canadian version of Shark Tank, for those of you who don't know. And it was an interesting experience.
It was.
Why don't you share that experience? And most importantly, the lessons that you got from there, because the show is a show, right? It's entertainment, but there's always lessons to be learned from it. So
exactly,
it would be great if you could share that.
Well, the first lesson was even before I went to the show. It was when we applied for a bunch of times. So people don't know, but you apply, you go through a process. Not always you go through, you pass the process. So we've been applying since our first year. So we only got it at the third time.
Right.
But it's okay, because that's the thing. what's the first lesson is keep applying.
Yeah.
Keep improving, keep coming back and then getting there and then getting something new, something better to show them. The second lesson is once you pass, like the second time that we actually went and then we presented like to the pre-producers before you go to the show, you have a pre-audition here.
Yeah.
We thought we passed. We thought we would go in. Like everything was perfect. They didn't complain about the product. They didn't give a lot of feedback, but they ate it a lot. So we thought, yes, we're in. We're in. Like done deal.
They
They're gonna
ate
they
all our
ate
stuff.
it all. Like they're gonna call us. They even asked like leave some here. So they kept eating for the day. So we thought we were gonna get in, and we did not get the call. And I was like, why? Like no feedback, nothing, no reason why. And I was like, what did I do wrong? Like, am I not ready? I don't know.
Did I lose my telephone number?
I don't know. The third year, and then I emailed. Like they don't. I think they don't have a phone number, so it's when
email.
you email. Yeah, and yeah.
Is my email working?
Oh, I tried. Then the third year that we went in like, well, like we don't really know if they're gonna call, but hey, let us give them the best shot. We went in and we pretended we didn't go before. Like we weren't like, let's go and do it. So Bruno went, I went. He was much more engaged.
Bruno,
in
your
the business.
husband.
Yes. Sorry, I pretend everybody knows.
Not yet.
Yes, he went and then he helped presenting too. Like so, we presented, we engaged, and the producer asked more questions, and we also like asked questions. Like, what do you think about? Like, we actually interact.
Yeah.
But she asked many more questions, and then we replied, but we didn't know everything at that time. We were replying as we could, and then we left thinking, I don't know. The other time we were so good, and then we didn't pass.
Why?
Like, I don't know, but let's think we will. Like, let's see how it goes. But at this stage of the business, when I went, like, I was like growing. That year, I had some setbacks. So we had a little fallback, and we were like in trouble. So we were like, if we go to the show, we get all this marketing, we can get back on track. So we had all that expectation, but we were also like, I don't know if it's gonna work out. They called, and then I almost said no. Like in my life, it's like, you know, I always like go, do. Like I never like think twice. But at that moment, like a lot of things happened to the business. Like we got some scams with like people that like some anyways, a lot of things. Like it's the year that a lot of bad things happen. And then I said to the producers, like, if I don't go, like, would they ever call again? And he's like, no.
Never.
And I said, you know what, like, we're gonna go. But I had that 30-second like doubt, the 30-second, I don't know if my business is ready. And he's like, come anyways. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get it ready and I'm gonna go. So we went, and then we went with that thinking, like, let's give us our best shot, and then we will get it. We're not gonna even think about it not getting it. We will get it. And we prepared. We went to consultants. We got the business analyzed, how much the business was worth it. We went to banks. We went to investors. We went everywhere. Like I got a business course in a few months to go to that show.
Wow.
So once I got there, and I froze in the camera, and Bruno started the presentation because my life just finished.
It's business. Come on.
It really does. Your life ends in that X.
That's what Kevin used to say. Don't worry, it's just the most important night of your life.
Exactly, it is. You're like, you get there, and I never had this issue. I was never shy. I never had frozen issue, but I had. It was like blank. Bruno started the presentation, and I gave it our best shot. And when they started like saying no, that comes the other lesson, which was take the best that you can take from this opportunity. I really didn't cry there. I cried outside. So my goal was not to cry. It was, okay, if they say no, if anything goes wrong, ask them why. Like, ask them what it is wrong with the business, or what are you doing right? So I answered them all the questions, but I asked questions too.
Right.
And they gave me advice, which is very valuable. And it was positive. Like, despite all that fear, like, because you're on TV, like, they can bash your business. They can, like, oh my gosh, they can destroy you. So I was thinking, like, how can I go in and not be destroyed? I have to go in knowing everything about my business. So I'm going to prepare the heck out of me. I'm going to learn business expression in English because I know them all in Portuguese. I didn't know in English. I'm going to learn them all. So it's not going to be because of the business. And if I don't understand anything they say, I'm going to say, like a spelling bee. Can you explain that? What is the meaning of that? I'm going to go this way and I'm going to go with everything. And luckily I did, because despite the fact that we didn't get the investments, they love the product.
Right.
They ate it. They promote it. Like after the show, they tweet about it. It went on air. Like, yeah, we loving couple. They work a lot. Love the product. Like things like that.
Did they discuss the brand at all?
They said, why Otimo?
Okay.
And they said, because it means awesome. And then they're like, oh, wow. Because they were like not understanding why the name. Like that was a word that they didn't understand what.
Did they ask you if it was trademarked or anything?
No, they didn't. But I think
because Kevin is not there.
They saw it.
He always asks.
They saw it actually.
Okay.
And it was in there. It was like, why Otimo? And it's like, because it's awesome. It means awesome. And they're like, they like it.
Yeah.
And it was good because, you know what? Like I had that 30-second of fear, but I went in anyway. And it was positive because when we left out, we got phone calls, we got support from fans, from customers, from whoever is not even our customer and said they want to support our business, and it was very good. After I've been there, I talked to people that didn't go through, and I would not want to be in those groups of like regret. I rather regret something I did than something I didn't. You know?
Sorry, I'm just, as I was telling you just before the show, I was recording the song, right? I wrote a song, I'm recording it. That's exactly what the song is about. Like, you're literally taking lines from my song. It's about, you know, how much harder the regret about things you hadn't done.
Yes.
Compared to, I tried, it didn't work. Oh,
exactly, because you canceled that one from your list. You tried.
Yeah.
It did not work.
Yeah.
You tried another way, it did not work. Okay, you put it aside. You did your share, you did your part. But you didn't try? You were like, oh man, I should have gone. Like, I would have regret.
Just threw in the towel, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I would regret for, like, why? Like, no, I have to go. And I have to face the fire. I have to. But I did preparation because I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was.
But you did not get the deal.
No.
You did not get the deal.
No, they said it was too early in the business. But
that allowed you to do what? Like in terms of all those lessons, going to federal TV with millions watching.
Yeah.
Well, what did it do to your business? What did it do to your brand?
First of all, visibility. A lot of people had no idea that we existed.
Yeah.
That we were out there. And then that gave me a lot of
At that point, you were still just Vancouver, right?
Yes. Vancouver, some like getting around BC, but not, mainly Vancouver. Nobody really knew who we were, you know, we didn't have that much exposure. So it is a big exposure already in one shot. And people from all over the country, they would email, they would text, they would call, they would say, hey, like, I want, like, you know, I'm cheering for you. I'm going to ask in the stores around here. I'm going to support you in a way. I got calls from all kinds of people. And social media, like we got a lot of hits. My website went down. Because everybody, yes, actually I put Bruno to work right away on it. It was out for a week because we were just redesigning. What happened was we went to the show, we got all this feedback from the Dragons about the packaging, about the new products we were launching. I was still creating this line. So I got all the feedback that I needed to actually finish the line and launch it. And then like, you know, social media and website and things like this. And I came back and started working on them. But when the show aired, we were not like, it wasn't completely ready.
Oh my God.
So we put it on air right away, but then when you switch servers, things happen.
Yeah.
And then everybody hit at the same time and then it just went out.
Yeah.
But I apologize. I kept like 2 days, I was just answering emails. I'm sorry, my website's down, but here's your answer. Here's what we're doing. Like, this is what's going on. And right away after we were launching the order online system too. Because we want to.
That was a part of the lesson, right?
Yes.
You realize that it's you have to sell direct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're like, we gotta like, it was something I wasn't giving a lot of attention. I didn't think it was that important, and it was.
That's what federal trademark is for. It protects you everywhere.
So I was like, okay, so we gotta do it.
Yeah.
And then we timed it so we would be done like all at once, and then that's what happened. But anyway, it's working now. We're good.
Yeah. This hilarious story. So you mentioned Bruno, your husband, several times.
Yes.
And you have a company name behind the brand Otimo.
Yes.
Which is
S&B gluten free.
S&B gluten free. And the hilarious part about this story is, so you're Sylvia, so S, and there's Bruno for B.
Yeah.
And originally you guys were planning to start with Bruno, right?
Exactly, it would be BS gluten free. Luckily, we run by English native people before we registered, because we were doing business registration. We were like testing things around.
This name is available.
And hey, there are businesses out there that is B and S something something.
Right.
Because we were checking. And we're like, yeah, there were other ones. And then like a friend of, like we were running by, and then this friend of mine, she was an editor, the one that I worked with. I sent it to her. She's like, no! And they're like, no, you can't. It means a bad word. I'm like, really?
Yeah, BS without gluten. That makes sense.
Exactly. So, yeah. See, we could spin it in a way, but yeah. So luckily.
So one other question I always wanted to ask you is this, because we had an interesting story how you became our client a while ago when we were just starting out. You were just starting out.
Exactly.
I was just testing some ideas about, creating trademarking services that nobody else had. And a part of that came from my first business educator, business coach, who's Colin Sprague, Make Your Mark. And I took a bunch of his course. I know you did as well.
Yes.
And we met at a trade show.
Exactly.
So I had a booth there, and we offered for a draw, and a winner would win free trademark registration, which was you.
Exactly.
And
I'm lucky that way.
So you came, but so we actually did several trade shows at that time, and we offered the same idea to everyone. You were the only one who actually didn't stop at getting their free stuff.
No.
You actually went for more.
Exactly.
You actually paid and you did more. So I wanted to ask you, why do you think it was important for you at that point to start protecting the brand, and how did that all go for you?
Well, the time that I met you was actually when we were starting out. But right when we started out, we were already, we had all this plan to grow and to be these big businesses. And we got a bunch of services and consulting services and things that were around our business. Yeah. And people trying to take advantage of us. And really trying to, see that how big it would get and start coming after us. And then we saw we need to start protecting our brand. And when I actually got that trademark, I needed. I created the brand, and then people were already trying to get it from me. And then I was like, I really need to protect this. Mm-hmm. And then I got it in the draw, and I'm like, that's the universe. Time. Exactly, because that's the universe. But when we decided to protect it fully, because I had this franchise experience in Brazil, I knew how important brands were in protecting them. And once you get big and start shining, you start bothering people. Yeah. And that's when things start happening. And I always wanted to shine. I always wanted to get my business really big. It's not to be a little tiny company here and there. No, we're here to make a difference.
Yeah.
So we're like, we got to start protecting now. We are already getting the hit. So let's protect now before, more problems come.
So much easier.
Exactly.
In theory, at least.
Yes. So I decided to go full. Let's protect design. Let's protect the name. Yeah. Everything we have. And then once we created things like taglines, let's go for it and protect it too. Because honestly, the
authentic cheesy goodness.
Yeah. The first one we used, Naturally Delicious.
Yeah.
There are now I've seen 9-10 companies using it right after us, and then we couldn't trademark at that time.
Yeah.
Luckily.
So we did the search for you.
We did the search, exactly. You checked it, and we're like, no, it's not worth it. There's other using it, and then we went for something unique, and then we have it. That's ours.
Yeah.
People cannot take it, and that's what I like. now it's protected, it's ours.
Right.
And as you know, an Otimo was experience for me and for you too, right? Because if I hadn't done it, like the universe is so like knowledgeable and wise that if we hadn't done it, remember you had to fight for it because there's this big business that had it, like a similar thing. I wouldn't be able to fight by myself, like ever.
Well, actually, lost money on your case, but
probably,
because you spent so much time fighting and with the only
but don't worry, I'll give you more business as soon as
that's not what I'm not complaining. That's it. It's amazing to be a part of this.
Exactly, and it's learning for both of us, right? Like I had no idea that.
Yeah.
And when you said it, no, there's this big business and the name, and they have similar trademarks. If I was on my own, I would probably just. I think it's not my level of expertise. If it's something that it's my expertise, I would go. But it was not. But you said it's mine. I will do it.
Yeah.
And I trusted that you would, and you actually did it.
Well, we got it.
You actually did it. You said you were gonna do it, and you did it. You fought to the end, and you got it.
Yeah, I just hate losing.
I know, and me too. But and I was like, you know what? I'm not the best at this, but I have the best in this. Like, so you're doing it, and
so much.
And that's like, you don't have to know everything. You just need to know who does.
So before we close, and before I ask you a parting question, I wanted to share something with you, and you're gonna like it because you just mentioned you want to go big.
Yes.
So a few days ago, there's this news break. George Clooney.
Okay.
He came up with a brand for tequila in 2012, 5 years ago.
Okay.
He trademarked it. They launched the brand next year in 2013.
Yeah.
So first they trademark it, then they launch it. He just sold the brand for $1 billion.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
We need to get George Clooney to eat my cheese.
I know, but here's the cool thing. He's not making tequila.
Oh wow.
They found a manufacturer in Mexico, he and his partner. They told them what they wanted from tequila. They put their brand on it. They came up with a name. They trademarked it, and they got $1 billion out of that.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine how much tequila you gotta sell?
Oh gosh.
To actually profit from the investment that you just made, paying $1 billion.
Oh my gosh.
But those people who bought it, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that's a great story for all of us in terms of, is there a value to the brand? You bet there is value to the brand.
There is.
You have to, and it goes back to what you said. It's all about, so the brand is not about the name. The brand is about what's behind the name. The person who stands behind it, well, obviously it helps that he's a celebrity.
Yes.
But it's not all.
Yeah.
It's not just because he's a celebrity, because they could have bought him, to endorse whatever other products they got for a lot less than $1 billion.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So there's a lot to say about, there's a good opportunity.
Exactly, it is. And I guess also the franchise background, right? When I was working for franchisees and things like that, like my major is sales, marketing, but advertising too. Like we learn about brands, but I studied the best. I was like, how did Disney got to be Disney? How did McDonald's got to be McDonald's? And understanding that in franchise you pay to use the brand.
That's all it is.
And then you have the other services, sure, but there is a fee to use the brand.
Yeah.
That means the brand is worth a lot. And that's exactly what it is what they build behind it. It is how you build your brand. And like I said, when I create things, I really want to do the best that I can do.
You know what fascinates me? I can still disagree with that, but I can understand at least small business owners who want to stay small, who don't really care about their brand, they don't protect the brand. I get that. But when I see somebody who says their model is to build a franchise and they still don't protect the brand,
that
I'm like, what are you planning to sell?
I know.
The brand is what you sell.
Exactly.
And it just blows my mind.
I don't get it either. It's just that I guess it depends on your goals and your objectives and everything that you do in life. But to me, it's like if you're going to build a business, it's not easy. Like everybody knows, it's like a hard way. Why are you not going big? Why you're not doing the best that you can and go huge and get everywhere?
You're spending time anyway.
Exactly, and make it worth it. Make it people remember you. Leave a legacy. a real legacy.
Yeah.
Like beyond you. Like I always thought, okay, yes, it's my brand, everything, but like people that work with me, like they work with me. They don't work for me. Yeah. It's with you, building the brand. Everybody represents this. Everybody goes, you put my shirt, you're representing my brand.
Right.
You know, like, and also like you're hiring people, you're changing people's lives. Like they're spending 8 hours in your business. It's most of their days. Yeah. Let that be happy. Let them bring new ideas. Let them help you build it. Like, to me, it's a full package. It's like, what do you want to build? Do you want to stop here or you want to really grow? Yeah. I want to grow.
I love it. It's great. So just before we this is perfect ending. But so if people who don't see that in their stores nearby, they really want to try one of those.
Ask for it.
How are they going to do that? Where do they go? How do they find you?
So basically, our website is the best way in. But
and
email.
Your website is?
Otimo, www.otimo.ca. Remember Canada.ca.
Okay.
And email, it's there, but it's info@Otimo.
Do you ship to outside of Canada, or is it Canada only for now?
Canada only for now.
Okay.
For now.
So Americans, come to Canada.
Exactly.
And get cheese puffs from Otimo.
Some of them do when they come doing tourism. Oh, you're getting to US. We're working on it. Yes. So shipping inside Canada, if there is not in your store, actually go and ask for it. Just say, hey, there's this company, Otimo. They have this Brazilian buns. I would love to buy it here. Yeah. Because we are approaching the stores, and it's much easier to get in when the customers are already asking for it. And that's
what you could do. Here's an idea for you.
Okay.
What you could do, so on your online order,
yeah,
if you can have them provide proof that they actually bought from you and they brought it to a store and they showed it to somebody in the store,
yeah,
you can give them a refund.
Yeah, that could be a promotion.
Yeah.
Have to work on the technical issues.
I know, but something like this. Because you want to reward them for going and asking
and getting,
store.
Also because then it's easy.
Or maybe
for
you
them.
Just send them one for free.
And it's much cheaper to get it at the store because there's no shipping, right?
Yeah.
So basically, much easier too.
Yeah. Canada Post is not making it very easy.
No, you gotta do it shipping overnight because it's frozen, so it's quite a bit of money. But hey, that's why we want to get everywhere. That's why we want to get to the stores all over Canada, because then you go to the groceries and you get it there. So yes, so best way,
go big, go Otimo.
Exactly, go Otimo. Make your life awesome.
Yeah, like that.
And yes, ask the groceries, say you're looking for this product. Contact us via email is the best, is the fastest. If you have any emergencies, call, but email it's much easier because then I can reply everybody and send you info. I can send you all kinds of stuff. I had actually customers, sometimes they ask for some overview of the product or the specific technical information, and just send them in. And tips on how to use the flour. It's something that doesn't exist here, so I bring it in from Brazil, and teaching them how to use it, how to adapt their recipes.
Cool.
And and if you do recipes with it, send it to us so we can share.
Yeah.
We'll give you the credits. We always do.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, look, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for being a part of my growth. Thank you for me allowing to be a part of your growth.
Exactly.
It's really exciting, and thank you for coming and sharing your wisdom with the audience.
Thank you. And thank you for all my trademarks now are protected.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sylvia and I would love to hear from you. What's your biggest insight that you're taking away from this episode? What's one action you're going to take to put this knowledge into practice in your business? Maybe it's what Sylvia mentioned at the very end. If you're building a business, build one that can become big. Maybe maybe something else. Leave your comment below and share this interview with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to be the first to receive updates about new episodes. If you think you deserve to be on the show because you have a kick-ass brand, email us at next@kickassbrandshow.com. next@kickassbrandshow.com. I'll see you at the next one.